Hello and welcome to Colorless Oranges, where I share my experiences to help better yours. I am your host, Sydney Hyatt, and today we're talking being secure. Before I get into that, get started, get this whole rhythm going, I just have a lot to talk about today. I'm a very chatty Kathy, even though this morning I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I had some margaritas last night. It didn't land well in my body. What can I say? What can I say? Anyways, I have this here because I was actually cold this morning, but I'm going to take it off because it's ruining my life. First things first, I wanted to give a shout out. We're on episode 9, almost at 10. At 10, I'm definitely going to do a bigger appreciation kind of thing. I don't want to say too much, but there is going to be something big for the next episode. I'm very excited to have made it this far in the podcast. So many of you privately DM me, which is fine, but YouTube really likes when you guys comment, like, share, all of those things. But a lot of you have commented to me that this podcast has been helping you think about a lot of things in a different perspective, and that's all I want. I want everybody to be able to see things differently, understand things a little bit better, and just think a little bit more critically about like a lot of life choices and a lot of the things that we're doing daily. I, for one, have been going through a lot of transformative experiences since I've started this podcast, which I think that the podcast came at a great time for me. I feel that we're all always growing and always learning things, so it's good to have like some kind of capsule like this, and to always make sure you're journaling, making sure that you have some kind of timestamps to come back, even if that's a picture for you or however you like to think about that. But I'm just really proud of myself. I'm really happy that I'm here and that we're moving forward with things. I wanted to give a shout out first to one of the big subscribers that doesn't ever sleep when it comes to this podcast. They're always in the comments, they're always liking and sharing, and it's my mom. I know, like a lot of us, our biggest fan is our mom, and I think that it's nice to take some appreciation because it's very important to me to see people interacting with my content. Like, that really means a lot to me. Thanks, Mom, for always commenting and supporting me and pushing me forward and giving me the support that I need to keep this going. I intend to do this every episode just to give you guys a little bit like a shout out that I see you. Anyways, let's get this show on the road. Today we're talking being secure. Now, if you don't follow me on Instagram, I posted on both my page and Colorless Oranges page, what does security mean to you? Like, what does it mean to be secure? And I got some responses. I didn't get many, which is very weird. I don't know why my interactions have been low. Maybe it's because I'm not posting up. I don't know. But with the TikTok coming to be banned almost in 180 days, I might as well start getting on. Got back to Instagram because that's where we're going to be at. I did get a lot of surprising responses that I was like, like I didn't see it that way, but I want to talk about them. Now, before we get started, I like to give you guys the definition of what we're talking about. So to be secure is to be fixed or fastened so as not to give way, to become loose or be lost. With that first definition, you can obviously use it in, what I'm talking about in being secure within yourself. You can have this sense of self that is so secure that it can't be moved, it can't be come undone if anybody does or says or anything changes that. I think a lot of us kind of confuse security with lack of growth. I think that it's important to be secure in who you are, in your morals, to be able to grow. If you know where you're at now, you know where you want to go, that means that you can see like what needs to be changed. And sometimes certain things do need a little bit of loosening in order for you to be able to move forward. In my last episode, we talked about how change is what you fear, and doing the thing that you're scared the most is what needs to be done in order to get you to change. And I think that some of us are secure and happy, and it can be a little bit stale in where we are, so it is kind of difficult to move from point A to point B. But we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a few. Second part of that definition is something attached, firming, so it can't be moved or lost. A lot of things that I got from the internet, I'm just going to say the internet, is safe and happy, not worried about life, confident. Now, those are great results of being secured. Like, the result of being secure within yourself is being safe and being happy. Even if you're sad, though, I feel like you can be secure, Being sad is still an emotion that secure people can have because it's just a totem, I want to say, or a piece of your security that allows you to be, to function in the sadness, to be able to think in sadness, to be able to feel your feelings. I think is also very secure emotion. Like, how men are never allowed to cry or whatever, but it's like you're suppressing all of that. So you're just like always angry. But if you're secure within yourself, you know that crying isn't going to change your sexuality or anybody's view on you. It's possibly going to help you, not hinder you, if that makes any sense. One of the responses that I got in the little question box was reassurance. Now, thank you for your response if you're watching this. I saw that and I immediately thought like, oh wow, yeah, that's great. After giving it some thought though, needing reassurance, let's say you're in a relationship. When you're taking reassurance from somebody else, there is a lack of security there. And I think that the need for reassurance is what shows that. If I have to constantly tell my partner, I'm loyal to you, I'm not cheating on you, I'm not doing these things, I love you, that's kind of putting a band-aid over something, not really getting to the root of it. It's like, this is the problem, but, like, if you need reassurance, it's because you're having underlying issues. I can't always remind you how beautiful you are for you to know that and be secure within yourself. That has to come from you. And even if, let's say, the relationship is with yourself, constantly reminding yourself of something can be good, but at the same time, are you like just faking it until you make it? Are you trying to make something be true that isn't? And like, I understand sometimes we talk about how it's important to, when we're manifesting, it's important to sit and think and be in that persona and believe that you have it. That to me is kind of different. That's like a little bit more in confidence, like your confidence within yourself. But to be secure, in my opinion, is to not be let down or to not be knocked down by anything around you or anyone's opinion or anything that can sway you. You're like the Statue of Liberty. Like, there might be waves on you, you're still standing like 10 toes down. And although you might have some paint coming off of you, you might have got some scars, you might have gone through some things, but the security within yourself allows you to be able to move forward, allows you to be able to believe that there is light at the end of the tunnel, that you will be able to get somewhere that you want to go. It's not too far out of reach. You're capable of anything. Security within myself looks like understanding that whether I have a job, my own apartment, my own car, doesn't matter. It matters the mental growth that I have come through in the last year and a half. It does get rough. I'm not going to say that it hasn't been rough. But what matters to me is the things that I've overcome that were not as easy as signing a lease for a car, an apartment, or or getting that next bonus check. It's something to me that isn't tangible. It's my mind, and my mind to me is the most important thing because it's the only place that I feel free. It's the only place that, even when I did have my apartment and my car and all of this stuff, like, there was never actual freedom. I was trapped by my mind and my mindset. My mindset was very, I need to fix this and I need this and I need that. Superficially, sometimes we can come off as a little bit settled and a little bit secure and a little bit confident. But it's like deep down inside, like when I look in the mirror and you look at yourself and you're talking to yourself or you're talking to anybody, what comes off and like what's coming out of you, the energy that's exuding out of you, is that security? Like, or am I checking my comments to crowdsource my self-esteem? Like Kanye said, like, are we believing somebody else's opinion and what they're saying to be true about ourselves? There is no amount of reassurance that I could give myself or anybody else could give me that could make me more secure or make me less secure. In my mind, I honestly don't believe, like there is somebody better than me or anything, because at the end, the only better than me is me. You understand what I'm saying? Like, in comparison to me, the only person that I'm better than is the person I was 3 years ago. And the only person that is going to be better than me is the person in the next 3 years. You understand? Like, nobody knows anything. You can have some similar experiences, and we can be in love, and we can be a partnership, or we can be brothers and sisters, or we can be mother and daughter or whatever. That security is given from me. It's not giving me from any of the relationships that I had. And that was also another comment that I got was family. Family is what makes you feel secure. And while it is great to have a support system and security within your family, you know, that you guys are a unit and you guys support each other and you believe in one another and you have those cheerleaders, you know, what about the days that they're not feeling well? What about the days where they want to experience other things or they're doing other things and you're down in the dumps? Who is going to be there? It's just you. It's just you versus you. It's just you only have yourself when you're crying late at night. Sure, you might have friends that are there for you that can comfort you, but in the end, the only person that gives you solace is yourself. You can't get that from anyone else. Like, your source has to be yourself because that's all you have. This is all we have. And I'm not trying to like make us super independent and forget about our families and everything and our culture, but there has to be strength within ourselves that can push us forward, because when those people are not here, what then? Where do we go from there? How do we move on? How do we help ourselves get out of these messes, you know? What about when you want to do something and those people that are giving you the reassurance or your family are telling you this is not a good idea? What happens then? Like, what will you do then? Heed their advice and, you know, stop from learning something or using this opportunity to get somewhere because somebody told you this wasn't a good idea, or they gave you their experience that showed how bad it was and that this might happen to you, so you just do that and let whatever could have happened here just walk away from you? I think it's very important to understand that not everybody is meant to give us advice. Not everybody is meant to be our leader or our instructor or someone of valuable opinion. It's very important to have our own self be the one that guides us, honing back into our intuition. And sure, you can have your army, your people with you going, and you know, those people should still allow you to make whatever decision you want. Just because I tried this one yoga studio and it was not good and it wasn't my vibe doesn't mean that you don't have to go to that one. But I will share my experience, but you should still have the security within yourself to know whether it's good or bad for you, if this is something you want or not. Not be persuaded or swayed in any kind of way to do anything. I think that working on that person inside of you and working on those projects that you want, those creative abilities that you have, building that confidence, however, does bring the security. Things that bring a big part of security for me is being able to recognize when I am in the dark and how to get to the light. Being able to come those traumas, those family traumas that I've had. It's being able to overcome adversity at school. It's being able to pick up my stuff and move on when I know something isn't for me anymore. It's being able to tell a nail tech I don't like what they're doing. It's being able to walk with my head held high because I'm not afraid to take up room. I'm not afraid to show that I am here. And for a long time, like, it was weird. I kind of felt like I didn't want to be seen by people. I didn't want to hear anybody's idea or their version, or I didn't want to be seen. And it was my lack of being able to see how to get out of the situation that I was in. I was in a very dark situation. I wasn't able to pick myself up. I didn't have the security inside of me at that point in time until I started journaling, and I would read back the things that I would say a couple days later, and I would just sit with those things and sit and think to myself, like, why not? Like, why can't you do what you're saying that you can't do? Like, what is hindering you? And I would really harp on those situations. Like, that would be my 24/7 focus mindset. Like, that was all I could think about. And the deeper I kept going down to find the root of the issue, it was simply because I didn't want to let anyone down. I wanted to be the support system to everyone else that I wasn't for myself. And if you can't do it for yourself, you can't do it for anybody else. That's obvious. But at the same time, I was trying to prove to myself that I am a good support system to myself because I am good to everybody else, when it doesn't really work that way. I needed to get myself out. I needed to think about me and not what my decision was going to do to other people. It just had to do with me for once, for change. And that started a whole, like, it catapulted me to just change my whole like mindset about everything, like the clothes I wear, the places I go, the people I talk to, everything, like just think so deeply. And it was one of the biggest tower moments I ever had in my life, and I'm very thankful for it, that I'm here and I have built a sense of security that can't be knocked down. And sure, I do get sad sometimes, but sadness doesn't equate insecurity. Insecurity looks like arguing with your boyfriend 24/7 as if he's cheating on you when you have no proof. Insecurity is not wanting to be seen. You know, you could also have financial insecurity. You know, not coming from a financial stable home is one of the biggest causes of that, and it bleeds off. Like that's like something, I feel like financial insecurity or non-stabilization, whatever, if you don't break it yourself, like it just keeps on going and going and going. You know, your parents could be the kind of mindset like, oh fuck it, I'll get it back tenfold, and then you could start thinking that way, and then like all of a sudden you have all this money and it's like you've blown it because you're just like, oh, I'll do this. Sure, we all live once and we need to have those experiences, but at the same time, it's never bad to, you know, keep a little stash. That's a whole different topic that I do want to get into, is financial things that young adults don't really have, especially because if you're from New York, then you realize we don't know shit about money, and we don't understand why we're paying taxes on things that we've already got taxed on our paychecks, and these companies are also still paying taxes, but I still have to pay 75 cents at McDonald's because I ordered a fry. Like that just doesn't even, why are we like this as a society? Our society literally would rather, well, not our society, our government, we'd rather ban TikTok than do anything progressive. Actually, in one of my classes, we were talking about, well, I had brought up, because my professor kept talking about how we had newspapers, and even if when we had like a low choice model, we still didn't know the truth, right? And having a low choice model is, you know, having 3 channels, right? And we have to believe that those 3 channels are giving us the correct information. And now that we have these TikToks and stuff, we also still have to be worried about the information. So it wasn't good then, and it's not good now. There is no regulation. There is no truth telling. Like, people think that they know the best for us when they don't know anything about us. They don't care. They don't want to care, and they're just gonna do what they have to do for money. I think the government is a good example of like insecurity. Like, just because we're all together on TikTok doesn't mean we're gonna start revolutions. Like, TikTok's been out for a very long time, and what has happened? Sure, we had marches for George Floyd. We can come together, but it's very difficult because us as a society, we don't really trust one another, and it's very difficult to trust our neighbor and our friend and everybody. So we are not as powerful as we could be if we trusted ourselves and one another. But anyways, I implore you to figure out the thing that makes you secure, you know. And I just feel that a lot of people who believe that they're secure aren't. It's something about insecurity in a person that I don't like, because it makes them liars. I just think the worst type of person to be is a liar. So when people are insecure, they tend to lie to overcompensate for the things that, you know, are not true, that actually nobody cares about. It's like those kids when they're in school, they'd be like, yeah, or when I was young, there would be a lot of kids that would talk about they had, you know, the sidekick, but they were never allowed to bring it to school. That's just a way to show insecurity, that they're insecure. Your mindset and what you believe to be true in yourself helps security. Going through some real shit can bring a lot of security in you, but even then, sometimes going through a lot of things kind of brings you down, because it's like, why does this keep happening to me? I do understand that point of view, because I have been there, going through the same thing over and over, but you're just missing the lesson. And you just got to be sure in yourself that you can get out of it. TikTok that I saw recently kind of solidified all of this for me. It was,
how are some of y'all going around living life not caring what people think about you?
I just realized I never actually knew what you were thinking about me. I just knew what I thought you were thinking about me, which means I created a mean, judgmental version of you in my head and then used it to think mean things about myself, which means I made you mean in my head, which means I was being judgmental of you, not the other way around. Now I just assume people are nice. I just assume that they're cool. And if they act in some way that contradicts that, if they start being a total dick for no apparent reason, I assume that they're actually angry at themselves for something that they're then projecting onto me, just like I used to do. And then I forgive them and get on with my life.
A lot of the times when people are mean to other people, that's just them projecting. Like when I'm annoyed with certain people, it's really because I'm annoyed with myself. Like yesterday, I couldn't get my outfit together. Like it was just, I just had too many choices to make that day, and just coming down to like my outfit, it was just driving me like up the walls. And someone had called me and I was just like trying to hurry up and end the conversation, because first of all, I wasn't putting myself first, because I could have not answered the phone, but you know, I still did. I was like, wow, like I'm really being rude. I mean, I wasn't being actually rude. I was just trying to hurry up and get the person off the phone, not even picking up the call, and taking a moment for myself and realizing like it's not that serious, just put something on. And even though I kept telling myself that, I was like, can we do this now? Can we hurry up and finish now? Like I wanted to get it done so that I could get to the next task. I wanted to hurry up and get my outfit done so that I can get to the next task. You know, I had to pick myself up and realize like it's not this person's problem. Like they might be annoying me right now, but it's really not them. It's myself. Like I could just not answer the phone. I could just pick my outfit and just be a little bit more calm within myself and not allow other people's problems to become mine, because I have a really big habit of doing that. And I've been stopping because I realize it's not getting me or the person any further. Constantly being there for people kind of makes them dependent. And, you know, being dependent takes away your security in yourself. If you have somebody that's holding your hand through everything and it's doing everything for you, you kind of, you know, relax a little bit because somebody else is worried about you. Like children have their parents, and their parents do everything for them. But when you become an adult, you're like, holy crap, my mom had to do this, my dad had to do this, I had to go to this, and all of this stuff. You start getting that responsibility back. I forgot where we were. My camera stopped recording. But being dependent takes away a lot of security for us. And taking the reins back, pulling back in, taking your power back for yourself is the only way that you're going to gain the kind of security that you have. The security, if you believe, is in the material world, then you're very, very lost. Like 100% in the abyss. Like you need to get it together. But I don't think those kind of people are watching my videos. Just because you have a house to show for yourself doesn't necessarily mean you're secure. You know, houses can burn down. The teachings that you have and the education and the knowledge that you have is what makes you wise, is what makes you grow to the next point where it actually means something, where you actually get to enlightenment. Me having a Urus doesn't actually mean anything, but that I just have an extra amount of money. And I'm not somebody who doesn't care about nice things. Like obviously I like nice things. I'm not trying to take away from that. I'm just saying more, we can't base our importance around the things that we have or the people that we have around us, because a lot of people, oh my god, especially on Instagram, it's very like, oh, I got these people with me, and it's like, tell me your top 5 people and I'll tell you if you're going to be a millionaire. It's not even about yourself. It's not even about them. It's about yourself. It's about how much do you care about yourself in order to get yourself to where you want to go. People that are constantly complaining about their bodies but don't go to the gym. It's not because your best friend is whatever. Like it shouldn't take somebody else to motivate you to do something for yourself. Sure, we can be inspired, but we can't rely on others to fuel us. We must have some kind of something for ourselves. We must be some kind of independent. And if we can't be independent, then we're always going to be lacking something in society, like forever. We can't always just think that because our best friends do this X, Y, and Z, that means we are as well. Because we need to have something inside of us that pushes us, you know, like the engine needs to flow by itself. Sure, that inspiration can come from other things, but having that within you is what's ultimately going to get you where you want to be. And a lot of times we do need help getting somewhere. You know, a lot of the times we can't just do something by ourselves, because sometimes it takes two, you know. But I'm talking about having the fuel inside of you to be able to keep going even when that person's no longer there. Continue building the empire when you know that it's like crashing down. I'm not saying to stop relying on people. I'm just saying to be there for yourself. I don't want you to feel that, oh, we're not allowed to, we shouldn't have people, blah blah blah. No, I just mean be there for yourself. Because in the end, that's all you have. You might go to sleep with somebody every day, but when they're sleeping, then what? There are people who bring the best out of us. There are people who inspire us and show us nice little outfits and nice little workouts and how they went from A to B and blah, blah, blah. But in the end, your creation is not going to be identical to theirs. And that's something also that I realized with this podcast, that there was something bugging me about a lot of the times, like I'll do something and somebody else will copy me. That has happened to me so much in my life that I just like had to surrender the idea that I needed all this credit. It never bothered me that people copied. It would bother me that people would act like it was their idea or they started this when they just copied me. That like irked my soul. But the moment that I surrendered, I was realizing that it can all be original, and the way that I do something isn't the way that you do something. And in a weird way, I was kind of giving you more credit for copying me, but the only person that deserved the credit was myself. You know, I had to be there and have the security in myself to know, like, oh, you really did that. Like, I'm cool, you know? Not because you copied me, but because I had an idea and I actually did it. And there's my security. Me sharing my experiences here on this platform is to, you know, help you not make the same mistakes I did, or to show you maybe some kind of steps that led me to where I am or anything like that. And even if only one person get something through these videos, that is my job. That's all I'm here for. I'm not here for fame, money, or anything. I'm here to document these things and possibly help somebody. And in doing so, it's building a lot of security within myself, because I'm able to speak on these things. You know, I'm not afraid of what somebody's gonna say, because in the end, I've already went through this. You can't knock me down. I already did this. There's nothing that can be taken away. Having abandonment issues as a child kind of poured that into my brain, that, oh, because this person takes what I have, it means I'm no longer going to have it. There's 8 billion of us. It's not that my ideas won't be copied or anything like that, because that'll happen however it happens. It just matters that I can put my best foot forward, even with the idea that, wow, somebody might take my idea and it might get them further and whatever. I still did my thing that I wanted to do without fear, with confidence, with security. Your mindset and your perspective is what ultimately gets you to where you want to be in life. And I believe it to be the most important asset that we have. You know, it's the most expensive thing that I believe that we can have is our brain, and working on it, strengthening our brain, however that might be, is very important. And if that brain gets you a Urus and a 20-acre house, then you did your thing. That's it. Don't rely on others to give you that piece of you, that spark of you, that thing that makes you you, because then we just become sheep. And it's like, what's the point in that? I'm actually really happy that we got this far. I hope you like, comment, and share. And I really can't wait for you guys to see the next episode. I have a really big surprise for you. If you like this video, please give it a like or leave a comment. I truly appreciate all the comments and any ways that you guys support my channel. And I'll see you and you in the back soon.